Kim Sol-gi gets bullied in her class, and sometimes outside the class. She is considered an invisible person who exists, but no one sees her. So she signs a strange contract with her teacher to make her own life better. One morning in class, Kang Yi-rim, the monitor of the class, is woken up by her boyfriend, Seo Sang-woo, who is taking her pictures while she is sleeping. Sang-woo informs Yi-rim that their homeroom teacher fell down the stairs and got hospitalized. From today on, they are getting a new homeroom teacher. His name is Mr. Han Bong-gu, and he is a temporary homeroom teacher for Year 2 Class 3. On his very first day, he invites the students to go through his consultation for their own betterment. Listening to this, a student with glasses, Chun Jae-soon, says that they should focus on their studies during this period of the year instead of counseling sessions. Mr. Bong-gu knows the name and rank of Chun Jae-soon, so he comes near him and speaks in his ear that those who always come second in the class are not remembered by anyone. Only the first rankers are always kept in mind. Mr. Bong-gu knows that Chun Jae-soon is a hard-working student. He still comes in second in the class in all the exams. He gives the class the freedom to get a consultation. Whoever wants it, and others can just avoid it. And for the first student to get the consultation, Mr. Bong-gu himself suggests the name. It's Kim Sol-gi, a student who always gets bullied by her classmates, whether inside the class or outside. She has no friends, and the girls don't leave any chance to make her feel ashamed. That's why Kim Sol-gi goes to get a consultation from her teacher. The teacher calms her by giving her some tea to drink and then offers her to make her life according to her own will. He gives her a chart of the seating plan of their class and asks her to draw the lines by connecting the people with whom she wants to make friends. Kim Sol-gi takes the opportunity and draws the lines to make 2 new friends who mostly bullied her earlier. After some moments, to her surprise, one girl comes to her asking for help with the English homework. Also, the other girl comes there, offering Kim Sol-gi to go to the cafeteria with her. Kim Sol-gi gets emotional after seeing this and starts crying. She has always longed for this day, and now it's like a dream come true. Then the third student comes there who used to be the boss of the other 2. She asks the girls to leave the invisible person and come with her. She doesn't like Kim Sol-gi and also wants other girls not to talk to her. After some time, Kim Sol-gi goes back to the consultation room to ask Mr. Bong-gu to use that chart again. This time, she wants to cut the ties between that third girl and her friends. But Mr. Bong-gu says that she has to sign a contract before using that chart again, as it's not free to use for the second time. Kim Sol-gi agrees, and suddenly her finger cuts and the blood drops down on the contract, writing her name in the sign compartment. Mr. Bong-gu also cautions Kim Sol-gi to use the chart wisely, as if one friendship line is cancelled out, then it can't be drawn again. With this, the contract is completed, and we see Kim Sol-gi going toward darkness behind a mirror. Back in the class, she now has the chart for Mr. Bong-gu, so she cancels out the friendship lines between her friends and their boss. Soon, both of her friends come back to Kim Sol-gi, and the boss starts getting jealous of her. After that, Kim Sol-gi draws lines between her name and all other classmates, making everyone fond of her. She enjoys time with her new friends, playing sports, and gossiping in class. She also cancels out the friendship of Seo Sang and Kang Yi-rim. She makes Seo Sang-woo her own boyfriend, so he starts ignoring Kang Yi-rim and starts spending time with Kim Sol-gi. Kang Yi-rim finds something fishy and tries to ask about Kim Sol-gi, but she just talks to her harshly and leaves her alone. Everyone is now a friend of Kim Sol-gi, and they start mocking the boss girl who used to bully Kim Sol-gi earlier. But Kim Sol-gi doesn't like this mocking of her own classmate, so she goes again to Mr. Gongbu to reverse everything she has done so far. But Mr. Gongbu says that she has already made all her choices, and now she can't reverse anything. That was the reason Mr. Gongbu had already cautioned her about using the chart carefully. While they are talking, Kang Yi-rim makes Seo Sang-woo take pictures of both teacher and Kim Sol-gi together. Though the face of Mr. Gongbu becomes very blurry in the picture, Kim Sol-gi is clearly visible, carrying something in her hands. Back in the class, all the students want Kim Sol-gi to come with them. Some want her help with the homework, some want to go with her to the cafeteria, and everybody is pulling her towards themselves. The expressions of Kim Sol-gi says that she does not like this environment, and she remembers Mr. Gongbu, who already cautioned her about the consequences. In all this fuss, her chart falls down on the ground, and her water bottle also opens up, spilling some water on the chart. The water fades out the line between Kim Sol-gi and Seo Sang-woo, so Seo Sang-woo was again hanging out with Kang Yi-rim, and he even doesn't have memories of his mind shift before. Meanwhile, Kim Sul-ji runs to get rid of all of the students. She runs to the rooftop of the school for some fresh air. But she sees the boss girl there, fed up with her life. She is standing on the edge of the rooftop as if she is going to commit the unthinkable. Kim Sul-ji goes to her and convinces her to come down as her life is very beautiful. She just has to look at it differently. The girl, though, comes down somehow, but she says into the ears of Kim Sul-ji that her life would be better if Sul-ji gave her life. In the meantime, the other students come there and start pulling Kim Sul-ji. Her chart again falls on the ground, this time in the water below. Under the foot of so many students, it gets torn up, and the lines on it fade out due to the water. Right then, all the students leave Kim Sul-ji alone and go back to the class. Back in the class, Kim Sul-ji tries to talk to her classmates, but no one wants a conversation with her. She is weeping and dying for a friend, but now she has no friend anymore. The following day in the class, one seat is empty, and no one knows if it's empty from the start of the class or not. Kang Yi-rim's mind signals her the death of some girl whom a man is carrying in his hands somewhere. Also, we see Kim Sul-ji caught in a concealed mirror in the darkness, and she is crying for help. The following day, Kang Yi-rim and Seo Sang-woo noticed something written on the empty space. It says not to ever go to the consultation room. Now, the story of the next student starts. His name is Oh Ki-chul, and he gets into a fight with the boss of the school, Kang Sang-tae, for his friend. One day, he heard that his friend was beaten by the brother of Kang Sang-tae, so Ki-chul beat up Kang Sang-tae's brother very hard in return. When Kang Sang-tae comes for revenge, Ki-chul challenges him in the fight to become the boss of the school. Kang Sang-tae accepts the fight, and now all eyes are on Ki-chul because Kang Sang-tae is very strong, and Ki-chul has no chance against him. A boy comes into the class and informs Ki-chul about the time and venue for the fight after the class. But before that, Mr. Bong-gu calls Ki-chul into the consultation room. Inside the room, Mr. Bong-gu also believes that Ki-chul is no match for Kang Sang-tae and that he will easily be defeated in the fight. Though, as a teacher, Mr. Bong-gu should be the one preventing students from fighting. He is enjoying the fight himself. He stamps on the arm of Ki-chul and asks him to meet right back at the same time soon. The whole school is excited about the fight, and everyone is voting for their favorite contestant. Still, Ki-chul gets only 20% of the votes, and Kang Sang-tae has 80% of the majority. Some students are even covering the practice of Ki-chul live on their channels. On the day of the fight, Ki-chul wears protection around his belly and then goes to the rooftop for the fight. The fight is being aired live, and everyone is already there to watch who the new boss will be. When the fight starts, Kang Sang-tae comes hard on Ki-chul, even from the start. He hits him hard in the abdomen with multiple punches, but the protection saves Ki-chul from their impact. Suddenly, a piece of brick causes Ki-chul to slip and lose his balance. Kang Sang-tae takes the opportunity and hits a straight punch on his head, making him lose consciousness. When Ki-chul opens his eyes, he is back in the consultation room with Mr. Bong-gu at the time before his fight ever happened, and this is all due to the stamp on his arm. Ki-chul gets scared and wants to leave the room, but Mr. Bong-gu offers him to relive that moment and gets better than Kang Sang-tae to win over him. But there is only one condition: Ki-chul will never be allowed to refuse his challenges. Mr. Bong-gu again makes his students sign the contract as before with the blood, and then he again puts that stamp on the arm of Ki-chul. After that, Ki-chul is going upstairs to practice for the fight when Kang Yi-rim comes and asks him about anything weird happening in the consultation room. But Kang Yi-rim says that there is nothing weird, and then heads upwards. He remembers his previous mistakes from the fight and removes that brick piece from there. Then he practices his punches there and gets himself ready for the fight again. When the fight starts again, Ki-chul gets defeated by his opponent. He loses the fight multiple times, each time waking up in the consultation room again and again. He remembers the moves of Kang Sang-tae from each of their fights, and tries to learn the counter moves from the internet. Then, after so many tries, Ki-chul is able to fight back with better punches, but Kang Sang-tae wins by using his legs this time. So in his next attempt, Ki-chul goes and puts some chairs at the place where Kang Sang-tae used his legs before. Now, in the next fight, everything goes according to the plan of Ki-chul, and when Kang Sang-tae uses his legs, those chairs come in between and stop his hit. Ki-chul takes the opportunity and hits a punch straight in the face of Kang Sang-tae. Finally, he wins the battle after so many tries, but in the eyes of all the students, he wins the match with just one attempt. Now, Ki-chul is the boss of the school, and he makes his own rules. He even teases other students just for fun, and collects money from them. Also, he bullies Kang Sang-tae at the school and looks down on him. He buys precious gifts for his girlfriend using the looted money from the students. One day, when one student refuses to pay the money to Ki-chul, he gets infuriated and starts beating him. That boy then challenges him for the fight of being the boss of the school. Now Ki-chul can't refuse the challenge, so he has to accept it according to the contract with Mr. Bong-gu, who is watching all this from above and smiling at the helplessness of Ki-chul. Meanwhile, Kang Yi-rim and Seo Sang would check out the pictures of the fight between Ki-chul and Kang Sang-tae. Also, in these pictures, the face of Mr. Bong-gu has become blurred. Now, on the day of the next challenge for Ki-chul, the other boy beats him very easily, and Ki-chul wakes up again in the consultation room. Now he has to win over Kang Sang-tae again, and then the other new contestant with multiple attempts. But his struggles never end here. After some time, a new student challenges him to be even stronger and taller than him. Ki-chul somehow is able to defeat him, but then his own friend betrays him. He goes to join hands with Kang Sang-tae, who wants again to challenge Ki-chul again. But Ki-chul is fed up with this cycle, and he wants to quit everything. He runs from everyone, but his challenges chase him everywhere. To get rid of everything, Ki-chul goes to Mr. Bong-gu and asks him to remove that stamp from his arm. He can't endure this suffering anymore, but Mr. Bong-gu says that it's a violation of the contract, and that's why Ki-chul would have to face the consequences. He throws him out of the room so he can face his challenges again. After some time, the injured Ki-chul finds himself beside the mirror, where Kim Sol-ji is already trapped. In the meantime, his enemies reach there and beat him up hard. The following day, Seo Sang-woo notices a stamp mark on the empty desk of their class. Kang Yi-rim and Seo Sang-woo don't know anything about that stamp. Also, they are confused about whether these two empty chairs are there forever or not. To look into the matter, they go into the consultation room and find a file named Contracts in the drawer of Mr. Bong-gu. Inside the file, there are signed contracts of two students named Ki-chul and Kim Sol-ji. But these names seem very unfamiliar to them, as if they are hearing them for the first time, though they are feeling a connection with them. Also, the stamp is there, whose mark they saw earlier on one of the empty desks. Suddenly, the door opens, and Mr. Bong-gu comes inside his office. Yi-rim and Sang-woo quickly hide behind the table, but the smile on Mr. Bong-gu says that he knows someone is hiding there. Another teacher comes into the office in the meantime and takes Mr. Bong-gu with him for some important work. The next day, the story of a new student starts at the school. It's on Si-yeon, whose stories are liked by Mr. Bong-gu a lot, and he acknowledges this in front of the class. On Si-yeon has told the whole class that his father lives in New York, and she has a boyfriend who lives in Boston to study. Also, there are rumors about a stalker of On Si-yeon. Most of the students don't believe these stories of On Si-yeon and consider them to be her lies because she has told different stories to everyone. Now, she is invited into the consultation room by Mr. Bong-gu, and he gives her a diary as a present. It's her diary, and he asks her to write her name on it. Also, Mr. Bong-gu suggests she write everything on it that she wants badly in her life. Also, it's her story, so she should be very cautious about it. He makes her write the introductory paragraph right there in front of him. On Si-yeon writes about her boyfriend, who is very handsome and lives in Boston for his studies. He loves her a lot and can do everything for her. He also has a passion for artwork and is very handsome, like a model. Also, she writes about the stalker who kept her following everywhere for the previous 5 years. When she is done with writing all this cheerfully, Mr. Bong-gu asks her to leave without the diary. Her present is over, and now she has to wait for her wishes to come true. The following day, when An Si-yeol is busy in her imagination, Mr. Bong-gu comes into the class with a new student. He is tall and handsome, just as An Si-yeol mentioned in the diary. His name is Fulfil, and he has just come from Boston back here to stay with his girlfriend, On Si-yeon. He comes straight to the desk of On Si-yeon and apologizes to her for making her wait for so long. After the class, On Si-yeon goes straight back to the consultation room to ask the teacher how it can become true what she had written earlier in the diary. She can't believe this, but she still wants it. Everywhere she goes, Fulfil is with her, caring for her. The students start to believe all the stories of On Si-yeon, and they are also admiring the couple now very much. Fulfil is a good guitarist who makes the audience listen to his tunes by heart. On Si-yeon has also started feeling that someone is following her all the time. It's her stalker with the black hoodie, which she mentioned earlier in the diary. One day, Suk Pil-ho comes and asks On Si-yeon to write his story ahead. They are struck by the story. If she doesn't write it further, then nothing will happen in their lives. So On Si-yeol goes to meet Mr. Bong-gu in the consultation room. She asks him to let her use the diary again, as Suk Pil-ho wants to extend the story. But Mr. Bong-gu says that her present is over, and now she has to sign a contract to get the diary. On Si-yeon agrees, and her finger cuts, pouring the blood on the paper and signing the contract. From now on Si-yeol starts writing the stories in that diary. She writes beautiful things like Suk Pil-ho bringing flowers for her and prioritizing her all the time everywhere. One day, when she is in the bathroom, she hears a girl disrespecting the family profession of On Si-yeol. This angers On Si-yeol, and she writes in her diary that this girl should go forever. And to her surprise, she sees that the girl has jumped from the rooftop, committing the unthinkable the next moment. On Si-yeol didn't want this, and now she is repenting on her decision. Then she writes that Suk Pil-ho should get to know that On Si-yeol dislikes the girl who committed the unthinkable, and this thing should create distance between Suk Pil-ho and Ah Si-yeol. This wish is also fulfilled, and Suk Pil-ho stands in front of her with his cold eyes towards her. After some time, Suk Pil-ho goes to the edge of the rooftop and wants to commit the unthinkable because his life is centered around On Si-yeol, and now he has no motive to live. All the students are convincing him to come back down, but he is not complying with them. Just then, On Si-yeol comes there, and she asks him to come down. But Suk Pil-ho doesn't follow her instructions this time, so she goes back and writes in her diary that Suk Pil-ho should love her again and he should live. As soon as she writes this, Suk Pil-ho comes down from the edge and hugs Ah Si-yeol. All the students are surprised by seeing this and can't comprehend what is happening there. The following day, On Si-yeol goes to the consultation room again, and Yi-rim and Sang-woo are watching her going there. They also take a picture of her in front of the consultation room, but the camera doesn't show anything. Inside the room, disturbed On Si-yeol wants to get rid of all of the stories she has made yet. She wants to reverse everything to normal as it was before, but Mr. Bong-gu says that it's not possible. She can change things according to her will, but she can't reverse anything. However, when she tries to change things, they get worse. Disappointed by the teacher, On Si-yeol goes and throws the book into the burning fire. When she returns to the class, she sees that Suk Pil-ho is following her with a burnt diary. He jumped into the burning fire to save the diary because his whole life was dependent on it. Without the stories, he would not exist. On Si-yeol gets scared seeing this, so she starts running, and Suk Pil-ho is running after her. She passes through the conference hall and reaches the journaling room, where Sang-woo and Yi-rim are working on the missing persons from their class. On Si-yeol is scared, so she hides behind Sang-woo. Suk Pil-ho is going to attack Sang-woo if he comes in his way. When Suk Pil-ho steps forward towards On Si-yeol, the stalker with a black hoodie suddenly comes there and catches Suk Pil-ho from behind. By taking the opportunity, all three of them ran from that place, leaving the others to fight there. On Si-yeol reaches the mysterious mirror and stops there, thinking about something. Right then, the stalker comes there and looks like he has already killed Suk Pil-ho, and now he is approaching On Si-yeol. After some time, we see On Si-yeol is also trapped in the mirror. The next day, Yi-rim and Sang-woo watch the pictures of Suk Pil-ho on their computer but can't comprehend who he is. Also, they found the burned diary of Si-yeol, in which their classmates' names are written. Still, they can't understand the matter because their memories are all washed away after every target. There are many clues in front of them in the pictures and in the diary, but still, they can't do anything. The following day, we see Chun Jae-soo, who is going to be the next target of Mr. Gong-bu. He is hiding inside the bathroom for the preparation of cheating material to use in the upcoming exam while his friend Ko Ki-tae is waiting for him outside. Just before the exam, Chun Jae-soo hides his cheating material inside the cuffs of his shirt, and he marks the important topics for his friend to memorize at the last moment. When Mr. Bong-gu comes to take the exam, he shuffles the seats of all the students, and then starts the exam. After some time, Mr. Gong-bu sees Chun Jae-soo cheating, but he doesn't say anything and goes around for a round. Then suddenly, the cheating material of Chun Jae-soo slips from his hand and falls to the ground. Before Mr. Bong-gu finds out the cheating material, Ko Ki-tae yells out, diverting the attention of Mr. Bong-gu to himself. In the meantime, Chun Jae-soo takes the tiny piece of paper from the floor and puts it in his mouth so that Mr. Bong-gu could not find it. Mr. Bong-gu knows everything, but he ignores them. After that, Kang Yi-rim goes to the admin office to see the consultation record. There, she sees the names of the students who have disappeared. Suddenly, Mr. Gongbu comes there and catches her red-handed, but Yi-rim saves herself saying that she has come to put back some files in the drawer. Meanwhile, Chun Jae-soo meets his friend Ko Ki-tae and thanks him for helping him earlier in the exam. Right then, Mr. Bonggu comes there and asks Chun Jae-soo to meet in the consultation room. Mr. Bonggu knows about the cheating of his student, but he is not angry at him. In the room, Chun Jae-soo suddenly caught the cheating paperback on the table. Mr. Bonggu sees it but doesn't say anything. Moreover, he offers him a soft drink to smoothen his throat. Chun Jae-soo drinks it and then solves a paper given by Mr. Gongbu. Surprisingly, Chun Jae-soo's studying abilities were enhanced after drinking that soft drink. He memorizes everything very quickly and solves all the problems skillfully. Chun Jae-soo even helps other students solve the problems. He has become a genius overnight, but he is also facing some side effects. The following day, when the effect of that drink fades off, he goes again to the consultation room to ask for more drinks from Mr. Gongbu. But Mr. Gongbu says that he has to declutter his mind to save space for only important information. This is only the side effect of that drink, which means that it would make Chun Jae-soo forget those memories that are not very important to him. Mr. Bonggu asks Chun Jae-soo to drink only 1 cane per day, and then he also makes Chun Jae-soo sign the same contract with his blood. Then Chun Jae-soo goes to a vending machine and takes out a drink from it. Then again, his learning abilities are enhanced, and he starts performing very well in the exams again. He makes it a habit to drink a can daily and then indulge in the studies for the whole day. His scores also start increasing in the result cards, but now he forgets the other things like how many hearts he got on social media in comparison with his friend. The next day when he goes to get his drink from the vending machine, he has written on his fingers that he can only get 1 drink per day. But surprisingly, he even doesn't remember that if it's his first drink of the day or second. From now on, he is remembering things by writing them on the sticky notes. He has also written on his arms about the contract of Mr. Bonggu. Chun Jae-soo even keeps forgetting about his best friend and his classmates. Kang Yi-rim and Seo Sang-woo go with Ko Ki-tae to investigate the matter of Chun Jae-soo in the library. They see him drinking that soft drink there and then studying hard. Yi-rim and Sang-woo also tell Ko Ki-tae that Chun Jae-soo might disappear as soon as other students in their class. The vending machine in their school is also something they have not seen earlier, and only Chun Jae-soo uses it daily. His bag is full of these drinks, and when he gets out of the school building, he doesn't even know about the route to his home. The next day, he doesn't even remember his desk in the class or the names of his classmates. The only thing he is good at is solving the problems in the exams, which he does very fast. After the exam, he goes to the consultation room by following the route of it already mapped on his arm. He asks Mr. Bonggu that he wants his all memories back, but Mr. Bonggu claims that it's not possible to get the memories back, but Chun Jae-soo can memorize everything again. By his increased capability, he can now learn everything within just half day, but Chun Jae-soo says that he can't memorize the emotions which he has lost until now. So from now on, Chun Jae-soo stops drinking that soft drink and starts spending his time with his best friend. But he has violated the contract signed with Mr. Bonggu, so he also gets trapped in the mirror. Meanwhile, Kang Yi-rim and Seo Sang-woo posts about the missing students of their class on a newly made website. They also talk about the evidences they have yet found in those posts. Then, the story of Do-doo starts. Her boyfriend, Jong-suk, is the most handsome boy in the whole school, but he wants to break up with her because he has found someone prettier than her. Do-doo gets jealous and lets him go to another girl by breaking up with him. In the meantime, Yi-rim and Seo Sang-woo are still investigating the increasing number of empty seats in their class. They see something written on an empty chair. It was written by Chun Jae-soo that he keeps forgetting things daily, and it's due to the consultation he got from Mr. Bonggu. He has even mentioned his best friend Ko Ki-tae there, but when Yi-rim and Sang-woo ask Ko Ki-tae if he knows anyone with the name Chun Jae-soo, he replies a negative. Meanwhile, Do-doo is doing some makeup in the bathroom to look prettier. Suddenly, she gets a notification about a beauty app, so she opens it and uses its filter to take a picture of her. When she comes out and looks at herself in the mirror, she looks very pretty, like the filter of that beauty app in real life. She pinches herself to check if she is dreaming or not. She can't believe that she can be so much prettier. Everyone in the school starts talking about the beauty of Do-doo. Her fan following increases, and people start asking her for some beauty tips. Also, her ex-boyfriend comes back to her, apologizing for his previous behavior. He again wants to get into a relationship with her, and for this, he sits on his knees and proposes Do-Do-Hee. She agrees and gets back into relation with Suk-young, but suddenly, she receives a notification on her phone that her trial of the app is going to end soon. So she quickly runs towards the bathroom where finally the trial ends, and Do-Do-Hee gets back to her original shape. There, she texts the manufacturer of that app to let her purchase the official version of that app. In the reply, she is asked to go to the consultation room. There, Mr. Bongu says that he knows the manufacturer of that app and he can get her the official version of that app. But for that, she has to sign a contract. Do-Do-Hee agrees and signs the contract with her blood. She is cautioned not to destroy her mobile and never let the battery of the mobile end. Otherwise, her features would fade away. Now, the journey of Do-Do-Hee toward darkness has started. From the next day, Do-Do-Hee again becomes the center of attention for everyone. She keeps on influencing other people with her looks and charm. At the same time, Yi-rim and Sang-woo are again searching the drawers of Mr. Bongu to get any potential evidence. Suddenly, Yi-rim starts having a headache, and she says her reflection in a painting is talking to her. She doesn't understand if it's real or not. On the other hand, when Do-Do-Hee is with Young-suk, her phone battery drops down and she gets anxious to charge it. She even gets into a fight with another girl on the charging plug. She is behaving like this because if her mobile phone is turned off, her charm and attraction would also gone. Finally, she receives a socket plug to charge her phone, and it gives her a sigh of relief. She gets a caution from Mr. Bongu not to get her phone battery dead, otherwise, she will have to face the consequences. After that, she sees Young-suk again talking to another girl. She gets angry at this and pours water from above on the head of that girl. Later, when Do-Do is enhancing her beauty through that app, Yi-rim comes and sits with her. She tries to ask her if there is something weird happening with her, but Do-Do doesn't tell her anything and goes away. In the meantime, Sang-woo is able to get a picture of Do-Do to keep the record if she disappears. Later, when Do-Do-Hee is in the bathroom, some girls come to her and ask her to give them her phone. They wanted to take a picture from her phone, but Do-Do-Hee refused to let them use her phone. At this, those girls started trying to get her phone forcefully, and in the quarrel, the phone fell on the ground and broke. The face of Do-Do-Hee gets very ugly as she sees it in the mirror. She yells after seeing her own face and then runs out, where everyone takes out their phones and starts taking pictures of Do-Do-Hee. She goes to the conference hall, hiding her face, and tries to charge her phone. Yi-rim and Sang-woo reach there and tell her about the students who disappeared after going to the consultation room. So they ask her what's happening to her recently. Do-Do-Hee shows them the beauty app on her broken phone and tells the whole story. Yi-rim tries to convince her that she is the goddess of their school and she doesn't need any app for this. But when Do-Do-Hee sees her own face in the mirror, she again gets scared and starts running. Young-suk also tries to calm down Do-Do-Hee by praising her beauty. They all collectively convince Do-Do-Hee to delete the beauty app because she doesn't need it. Do-Do-Hee agrees to them, and as soon as she deletes the app, she disappears from the scene. Her phone falls down on the ground. Yi-rim bends to pick up that phone, and also, Mr. Bongu comes there to pick the phone up. When both of their hands touch the phone, Yi-rim starts having all the previous memories of the disappeared students until then. The following day, when Yi-rim wakes up from her sleep, she talks about her memories to Sang-woo, who shows her the comment on the posts of the missing students on their website. Someone has asked them to come to the special class in their school to learn about the missing students. Yi-rim and Sang-woo didn't know that their school had a special class too. When they go to the defined location, they find Mr. Bongu standing there. He is the one who has been texting them. Now he shows all the students who have been missing are present in the special class. Also, another teacher knows about it, and it's a program launched by the school. According to them, the teachers now ask Yi-rim and Sang-woo to delete that website as there is no fact behind the posts there. When they both leave the teacher's room, Yi-rim again starts having memories and hearing the mysterious noise in her ears. She also sees her own reflection again talking to her. The reflection says that soon she is going to replace the real Yi-rim. Then Yi-rim goes and sits in her room, imagining all the missing students. She still thinks that something fishy in this matter, so she again meets Mr. Bongu. She asks him whether the students she saw earlier in the special class were real or not. Mr. Bongu says that there is only one way to find it, and for that, Yi-rim has to come to the consultation room. So she goes to the consultation room, and there Mr. Bongu makes her remember how indifferent she used to be in the class. Though she was the president of the class, she never took an interest in the matters of others and always kept herself busy in her studies without solving others' problems. Now, when she is interested in finding the missing persons, Mr. Banggu wants to know whether it's her curiosity or sense of responsibility. Yi-rim replies that she just wants to find them because they are her classmates. Mr. Banggu says that she has to go behind the mirror to find them. He also sets a timer in which Yi-rim has to come out of it, otherwise, she will also become trapped there for always. Yi-rim agrees, and Mr. Banggu also makes her sign the contract with her blood like the previous cases. The next moment, Yi-rim finds herself behind the mirror. She can see people across the mirror in the real world, but they can't see her in the dark world. She strolls around a bit and finds random things written on the walls of the stairs about her class and Mr. Banggu. She feels that someone is following her, so when she runs to see who it is, she finds out a little girl there. The little girl tells Yi-rim about the details of that place. It's like an abysmal where one can get lost very easily. Also, there lives no one in that darkness except some students who always remain in one class and scare that little girl from inside. The kid says that Yi-rim should quickly get the exit from that place, otherwise, the fake Yi-rim would take her place in the real world permanently. Back in the school, Sang-woo receives the voiceover left by Yi-rim in which she says that she is going to meet Mr. Banggu in the consultation room. When Sang-woo goes to see her in that room, he finds it closed. He asks about Yi-rim from other girls, and right then, the fake Yi-rim appears there and starts flirting with Sang-woo. She is behaving very differently than the real one. For example, she stands on the class desks and starts dancing there, which is very unlikely to the real Yi-rim. Also, she is keeping a timer in her cabin, which Sang-woo earlier saw in the consultation room of Mr. Banggu. Sang-woo is sure that she can't be the real Yi-rim, so he distracts her somewhere and then steals the timer from her cabin. Real Yi-rim is watching all this through the mirror in the dark world. Sang-woo runs towards that mirror, carrying the timer with him. Fake Yi-rim is following him and continuously asking him to return that timer. She gets very angry at him and carries him above his neck using only one of her hands. Sang-woo threatens that he is going to break that timer by throwing it away, but fake Yi-rim says that by breaking the timer, both Yi-rims would disappear forever. The real Yi-rim is watching all this through the mirror when, suddenly, the mirror blacks out. Yi-rim gets anxious for Sang-woo, and that's why she asks the kid to show her Sang-woo again, but the kid says that she didn't do this either. Right then, Mr. Banggu comes there, saying that Yi-rim is the only one who can save Sang-woo, and for that she has to find the exit from the dark world. When she asks where the exit door is, Mr. Banggu replies that Yi-rim already knows its answer. Yi-rim then understands that it's her nightmare and she can do anything that she wants in her own dream, so she thinks to get out of that place, and a moment later, she is back in the school where fake Yi-rim is still holding Sang-woo by the neck. Yi-rim now solves the puzzle of this fake Yi-rim and says that she is actually the part of herself. That's why she opens her arms to accept that part back in her body. By this, Yi-rim wakes up on her bed from the long and scary nightmare. Mr. Banggu is standing there near her and reverses everything back to the scene where the whole story started. Sang-woo captures a picture of Yi-rim while she is sleeping. All the missing students are present in the class, safe and sound. They all start living their lives normally from now on.